Again, I'm reading another reg that's like very close to my heart, and it's one about the registration of mortgage loan originators. SAFE Act. Under SAFE Act, Congress enacted the Secure and Fair Enforcement for Mortgage Licensing Act, SAFE Act, in 2008. The SAFE Act required the federal banking agencies to publish and implement a registration system for mortgage loan originators. The law requires mortgage loan originators to be registered for the nationwide mortgage licensing system and registry established jointly by the Conference of State Bank Supervisors and the American Association of Residential Mortgage Regulators. And the purposes of the rule were to facilitate the flow of information on mortgage originators between regulators, enhance the accountability and tracking of mortgage loan originators, and provide consumer protections to mortgage loan applicants. The banking agency issued regulations that were effective on October 1st of 2010. The regulations require individual mortgage loan originators to register with the central registry and use the permanent unique identifier used by the registry to identify themselves to consumers. Federally regulated institutions must require their employees who are mortgage loan originators to register and must implement compliance management policies and procedures. In 2011, the Authority and Administration for the SAFE Act regulations was transferred to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Coverage. Mortgage loan originators. This is one who takes a residential mortgage loan application and offers or negotiates the loan terms and compensation. Exclusions to mortgage loan originators or covered under the SAFE Act are individuals who perform only clerical or administrative tasks on behalf of a mortgage loan originator, including the receipt and distribution of information common to mortgage loans and communication with the applicant necessary to obtain information necessary to underwrite or process the loan. Licensed real estate brokers who do not meet the definition of a mortgage loan originator are also excluded. Further are individuals solely involved in the extension of credit related to timeshare plans, as well as employees of regulated financial institutions regulated either by the OCC, FDIC, Federal Reserve, or OTS, that have never been registered under the rule, and who acted as a mortgage loan originator on 5 or fewer mortgages during the previous 12 months. Residential mortgage loan. A loan primarily for personal, household, or family purposes, secured by a security interest in a lien on a 1 to 4 family dwelling, mobile home, individual condominium, or cooperative unit, including property on which is constructed or intended to be constructed a dwelling, and including refinancing, reverse mortgages, home equity loans, and lines of credit. Here's the requirements under the SAFE Act. Every employee of a regulated institution who acts as a mortgage loan originator must register with an NMLS registry. Employees of regulated institutions must register prior to engaging in any activity that exceeds any exception limits mentioned earlier. Regulated institutions are prohibited from any activity designed to evade the requirements. Regulated institutions that employ individuals who act as mortgage loan originators must require them to register with the NMLS, maintain the registration, and obtain a unique identifier. Regulated institutions must not permit employees who are not registered with the registry to act as mortgage loan originators. MLS. Changing employment. A regulated institution who hires an individual who is already registered with the registry and has a unique identifier prior to becoming an employee with the registry. will be considered in compliance if the individual updates the employment information on the registry and the individual's fingerprints on file at the registry are less than 3 years old. If fingerprints are 3 or more years old, new fingerprints must be submitted in order to be in compliance. When institutions merge or one is acquired, registration requirements must be met for employees of the resulting regulated institution within 60 days from the effective date of the acquisition or merger. Registration information. The following information is required to be submitted to the registry by the mortgage loan originator. Regulated institutions must require mortgage loan originators that work for the institution to submit this information to the registry, or the institution may submit it on behalf of the individual. Individual employees must authorize the registry and the employing institution to obtain information related to sanctions or court, both civil and criminal findings, and must attest to the correctness of the information. Identifying information including the individual's name, home address, and contact information. Principal business, location, address, and business. Contact information. Social security number, gender, date and place of birth. Financial services related employment history for the 10 years prior to the registration or renewal. Convictions of any criminal offense involving dishonesty, breach of trust, or money laundering against an employee or an organization controlled by the employee, or agreement entered into with the prosecution of such offense. Civil judicial actions against the employee in connection with financial services related activities, dismissals, settlements, or judicial findings that an employee violated a financial services related regulation or statute. Actions or orders that a state or federal regulatory agency that found the employee to have made a false statement or omission or been dishonest, unfair, or unethical, to have been the cause of a financial services related business to have its authorization to do business revoked. Are entered, okay, so actions or orders by a state or federal regulatory agency that are entered against the employee in connection with the financial services related activity, and actions or orders by a state or federal regulatory agency that denies, suspended, or revoked the employee's registration or employee or prevented him or her from associating with a financial services company, and lastly, barred the employee from association with a financial services company. Final orders issued by a state, federal, or foreign financial regulatory attorney, accountant, or federal contractor. H. Consumer-initiated financial services related arbitration or civil action against the employee that required action including settlements or judgments. Fingerprints, I, of the employee in digital form is practicable, and any appropriate identifying information for submission to the FBI and any governmental agency authorized to receive such information. J. The employee must authorize the registry to make physical name criminal actions that involve dishonesty, breach of name and business contact information available to the public, as well as final criminal actions that involve dishonesty, breach of trust, and money laundering information on regulatory, civil, and criminal actions. Regulated institutions may submit the individual identifying information on behalf of their employees in individual or batch form. I. Required bank information. The institution must submit the following: name, office address, business contact information, IRS employer identification number, research statistics supervision and discount number, RSSD number as issued by the Federal Reserve, ID number of the bank's primary federal regulator, name and contact information of the individual with authority to enter the information required by the registry. This individual may not be an independent originator unless the bank has 10 or fewer employees. F. If the entity is a bank subsidiary, the RSSD number of the parent bank. Bank application. The individual submitting information on behalf of a bank must attest that they have the authority to enter the data on behalf of the bank, and that it is correct and that the bank will keep the information current, filing supplementary information on a timely basis. Updating information is also just, these are requirements. Okay, so we turn back in the requirements. Updating information submitted by the bank must be updated within 30 days of the date of information becomes inaccurate. The bank must renew the information on an annual basis. Employee information. After employee information has been received by the registry, the bank must confirm that the employee is the registrant, and within 30 days of the date of registration ceases to be an employee of the bank, notify the registry that the registrant is no longer employed, and that the date the individual ceases to be employed. Maintaining registration. 1. A mortgage loan originator who is registered with a registry must renew it annually unless the initial registration was less than 6 months prior to the annual renewal period. And confirm the information submitted remains accurate and complete, or such information must be updated as appropriate. Alright, we're at 11 minutes here. Information must be updated within 30 days of the registrant's name change. Termination, resignation. If they're like debarred or censored, no longer an MLL, and renewal update of the registrant is effective on the date the registry transmit notifications to the registrant, and the registration has been renewed or updated. Policies and procedures are a requirement, and regulated institutions that employ one or more MLOs must adopt and follow written policies and procedures to assure compliance. Policies and procedures must commensurate with the nature, size, and complexity and scope of the mortgage lending activities of the bank. At a minimum, the policies and procedures must establish a process for identifying which employees are required to register as mortgage loan originators. They require all banks of the employees of the bank who are mortgage loan originators to be informed of the SAFE Act registration requirements and provide instructions on how to comply with the requirements. Establish procedures to comply with the unique identifier requirement. Implement procedures for confirming the adequacy and accuracy of employee registrations, including updates and renewals and tracking and compliance with the registration regulations, and provide for independent testing and compliance. Provide for appropriate action if an employee fails to comply with the registration requirements of the SAFE Act and the Bank's SAFE Act policies. Establish a criminal background check on employees. Implement procedures designed to ensure that third-party service providers that provide services related to mortgage loans have policies and procedures to comply with the SAFE Act, including registration requirements. Then there's a section on unique identifier requirements. The bank must make the unique identifier of its registered MLOs available to consumers. The registered MLO must provide his or her unique identifier to the customer upon request before acting as an MLO or through the originator's original written communication with the consumer, whether electronic or on paper. Now the penalties, we do have SIRA here with the regular, and then there's administrative enforcement that HUD has administrative enforcement authority over mortgage loan originators, and HUD may impose civil money penalties of up to $25,000 for violations. And that's going to conclude what we have to say about Lovely Safe.